Have you ever pondered the mysteries of the deep, where the extraordinary meets the uncanny, in realms where the never-ever happens? Prepare to be awestruck as we embark on a journey into the enigmatic world of the ocean's secrets, where extraordinary phenomena, unexplained disappearances, and eerie anomalies have left even the most seasoned explorers and scientists scratching their heads. Join us as we delve into stories that defy logic, where the impossible becomes reality, and the world beneath the waves unveils its most bewitching enigmas. Brace yourselves, for the ocean's depths hold more wonders and terrors than we can ever imagine. The ghost ship Kaz-2. In 2007, the Kaz-2 embarked on a seemingly ordinary journey from the sun-kissed shores of Australia. Manned by a crew of 3 adventurous souls, it was a voyage into the unknown. Yet, what transpired remains etched in maritime history as an extraordinary enigma that continues to send chills down our spines. A drifting vessel, its motor still running, a powered-on laptop flickering eerily, and a table immaculately set but devoid of human presence. The puzzle deepens as no sign of foul play emerges, save for one glaring detail. Where did the crew vanish to? Coroner's speculations have yielded no definitive answers, leaving us to grapple with the haunting question of their unexplained disappearance. The giant cannibal shark. In the annals of marine biology, 2003 marked a year of profound intrigue and chilling discovery. It was the year that science brushed against the enigmatic and the terrifying. A 9-foot-long great white shark, tagged to study oceanic temperature fluctuations, unwittingly became the harbinger of a jaw-dropping revelation. Several months after tagging, the shark's tag washed ashore, harboring an eerie secret within its data. It revealed that the once mighty predator had descended to unfathomable depths, around 1,900 feet below the surface, indicating a grim fate at the jaws of an even greater behemoth of the deep. Could an even more colossal shark, a creature of nightmarish proportions, be lurking in the uncharted abysses of the ocean's mysteries, silently devouring its own kind? Mariana Trench. Imagine a place on our planet so profound, so impenetrable, that it eclipses the height of Mount Everest submerged beneath 36,201 feet of water. This is the Mariana Trench, the Earth's deepest and most foreboding scar, a realm where sunlight dares not tread. Only 4 valiant expeditions have dared to breach this subaquatic fortress, their journeys akin to interstellar voyages into an alien world where the crushing pressure could annihilate the unprepared in an instant. In these abysses, there lies a world uncharted, where creatures of our darkest nightmares might dwell, and undiscovered phenomena may await. The Mariana Trench holds the promise of unveiling secrets that defy imagination, shrouded in the enigma of its immeasurable depths. Baltic Sea Anomaly. In the year 2011, 2 intrepid researchers embarked on a quest beneath the waves, armed only with sonar technology and an insatiable curiosity. What they discovered, some 300 feet beneath the surface of the Baltic Sea, transcended the realm of the ordinary. A bizarre, otherworldly shape emerged from the sonar scans, triggering speculation and awe. Was it the remnants of a spacecraft? A sentinel from the stars that had crash-landed on Earth's watery expanse? Or perhaps, could it be a clandestine artifact of secret war technology, hinting at mysteries of geopolitical intrigue? This Baltic Sea anomaly challenges the boundaries of our understanding, leaving us to ponder the surreal in a realm where fantasy and reality converge. Unexplained sounds. Deep in the heart of the world's oceans, where darkness reigns supreme, there echoes a symphony of the unknown. A discordant, haunting melody that sends shivers down the spine of seasoned sailors and intrepid explorers alike. Among the pantheon of these mysterious sounds, 2 have risen to prominence: the bloop and Julia. Scientific minds have attributed these enigmatic sounds to colossal icebergs scraping the ancient seabed in a grotesque ballet. These haunting sounds were not the mere echo of drifting ice, but the serenades of colossal, unseen creatures that dwell in the abyss. The ocean's depths keep their secrets hidden in these eerie echoes. The submarine disappearances in 1968. In the annals of maritime history, the year 1968 remains etched with an eerie synchronicity that defies explanation. 4 colossal submarines, from the depths of different nations, inexplicably vanished without a trace. The USS Scorpion, the Soviet submarine K-129, the French submarine Minerve, and the Ions Dakar, all succumbed to an ominous fate, their disappearances cloaked in a veil of obscurity, The most mystifying of all, perhaps, were the vanishing acts of the Minerve and the Ions Dakar, which unfolded within a mere 4 days of one another. The Minerve, in particular, remains an elusive enigma, never to be recovered, despite its disappearance merely an hour away from its home port. Coincidence, or could it be something more sinister? A confluence of forces beyond human understanding? The real Atlantis in the annals of archaeology. There exist tales of an ancient, lost city submerged beneath the sapphire waves of the Aegean Sea. The lost underwater city of Atlantis, long shrouded in myth, has allegedly been discovered just off the coast of the island of Delos in Greece. What was once a realm of legend now unfolds before our eyes. A meticulously planned town with intricately designed buildings, courtyards, and an abundance of pottery shards that whisper of a civilization lost to the ages. The quest to uncover Atlantis holds the promise of rewriting history and unveiling the submerged secrets of an ancient world. The HMS Daedalus's Sea Serpent. Imagine a warship of the Royal Navy, the HMS Daedalus, plowing through the briny expanse of the ocean. Now envision the crew's bewilderment as they bear witness to a colossal, serpent-like creature, 100 feet in length, crowned with a head resembling a dragon, gliding through the waves. Could it be an optical illusion, a mirage born of salt-sprayed hallucination? The saga deepens as the American brig Daphne encounters the same colossal serpent, compelling them to take action. They fire at the creature and give chase, only to watch it vanish into the deep blue abyss. Modern science may rationalize these accounts as sightings of whales, but could a crew of experienced sailors truly mistake a whale for a sea serpent of legend? The answer lies in the echoes of an age-old mariner's tale. The Bermuda Triangle. Where Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico form an eerie triangular nexus, there exists a region that has haunted the maritime world for centuries, the infamous Bermuda Triangle. Christopher Columbus, the legendary explorer, was the first to chronicle its mysteries. He claimed to witness a luminous ball crashing into the horizon, bathing the world in an eerie glow. From there, the lore of the Bermuda Triangle grew, its dark legend including inexplicable phenomena such as vanishing boats, planes, and a squadron of U.S. torpedo bombers that evaporated into thin air in 1945. This enigmatic stretch of sea, where the ordinary becomes extraordinary, beckons those willing to explore its spine-tingling secrets. The Gulf of Mexico's cursed shipwreck. Deep within the emerald depths of the Gulf of Mexico lies a shipwreck of unparalleled malevolence. When ExxonMobil stumbled upon this forsaken vessel, little did they know that their chance discovery would lead to a series of harrowing misfortunes. An expedition team was hastily assembled to probe the wreck's mysteries. Yet, from the moment they descended into the abyss, a sinister force seemed to thwart their every move. Their exploration sub malfunctioned just as it approached the wreck, as video monitors flickered to darkness and sonar systems failed. The very hydraulics that controlled their fate went haywire, one after another. The Navy, in a bid to uncover the truth, dispatched a research sub, only to witness it self-destruct upon entering the water. When it finally reached the cursed ship, its arms proved too short to grasp the elusive secrets held within. These are but a few of the calamitous attempts that this accursed ship has cursed upon all who dare to venture near. The Yonaguni Monument. In the year 1985, beneath the tranquil waves off the coast of Japan, divers made a breathtaking discovery that continues to baffle the minds of archaeologists, geologists, and historians alike. Submerged in the depths of the East China Sea, they stumbled upon a subaquatic enigma that seemed to defy the laws of nature. The Yonaguni Monument, an underwater marvel, boasts colossal stone formations, meticulously arranged like a grand staircase, each block meticulously shaped by some unknown force. Measuring over 165 feet in length and 65 feet in width, the monument's sheer scale is enough to leave anyone in awe. What's more perplexing is the precision of its construction, with blocks appearing to be perfectly carved by an intelligent hand. Was this the work of an ancient civilization that possessed advanced knowledge of engineering? Or do these formations, as some contend, stand as remnants of natural geological processes sculpted by time? The Kraken, giant of the deep, venture into the chilling waters of New Zealand's coast, where in the year 1870, an event transpired that remains etched in maritime lore. A colossal squid, the likes of which had never been witnessed, washed ashore. The creature measured more than 9 feet in mantle length, leaving villagers to declare that it was the very beast responsible for a prior calamity. a canoe that had been snatched and pulled beneath the depths. This encounter with the Leviathan of the deep fueled speculation that giant squids, colossal beyond imagination, might prowl the inky abysses of the ocean. A modern-day scientist delves into this eerie tale, positing that these colossal cephalopods could reach lengths as astounding as 66 feet, if not beyond. While the top end of this estimate might seem extravagant, it underscores the undeniable truth that these deep-sea monsters are no figment of legend or myth. As we bid farewell to the enigmatic depths of the ocean and the mysteries that remain concealed beneath its azure shroud, we leave you with a sense of wonder, awe, and a thirst for discovery. We hope you've enjoyed this extraordinary voyage, and we invite you to join us in unraveling more mysteries and uncovering the secrets of our wondrous world. Beneath the dark waves of the ocean, where secrets linger and old stories whisper, a spooky tale unfolds. The story of killer mermaids. Picture this, in the moonlit sea, where the water is so deep, it's like an endless mystery. There's a not-so-friendly force deep down there, where it's really, really dark. A not-so-nice legend wakes up, the world of killer mermaids. Welcome to Underwater Scaries. Today's video, we will delve into the chilling stories of killer mermaids. So before starting, give this video a and they ended up in big trouble. In Odysseus' story, he knew about the danger and told his crew to block their Notably, the gill arches contain a dense network of blood vessels, likely capable of producing heat. This adaptation allows the sirens to endure a broader range of colder temperatures than their less evolved relatives. Despite these features, the absence of true endothermia limits their impressive speed to short bursts and does not grant the siren lineage exceptional intelligence. This species appears to rely on instinct and mimicry rather than genuine cunning or planning. Depending on one's perspective, this could be either a relief or even more terrifying. Observations were limited to a single female specimen, preventing a definitive statement on notable sexual dimorphism within the species. Given the lack of obvious external primary or secondary sexual characteristics, it is believed that both genders will exhibit very similar overall appearances. Beyond the anatomy of these creatures, an unsettling aspect of their biology is their diet. Opportunistic omnivores, sirens feed on a mix of smaller fish, crustaceans, snails, and more. With sharp, backward-facing dentition, powerful jaw muscles, grasping limbs, and features specifically designed to lure hominids, Serenus horridus's preferred prey items are humans. In epochs past, sea-dwelling ancestors redirected their collective attention to the land, resulting in the evolution of creatures like Tiktaalik. Fins transformed into limbs, primitive pectoral bones evolved into shoulders. Such was the case for Ambulocetus, the semi-aquatic creature whose very name translates to walking whale. Indeed, history is filled with examples of creatures of various kinds transitioning from water to land and vice versa, often due to specific environmental pressures. It is my hypothesis that something, perhaps a lack of resources, climate imbalance, or competition from a similar creature in its niche, compelled the ancestors of Serenus horridus to leave the deep waters of the Mediterranean and venture into the shallows along the coastline. Here, this lineage found a new home with abundant resources. Over extensive periods, much like present-day mudskippers, numerous adaptations enabled them to prop themselves up, crawl over dry rocks, and even venture onto the shore for short periods. Long-standing scientific studies suggest that at some point in the distant past, a basal bony fish, possibly a species akin to the Silurian-era Gaioniros, gave rise to ray-finned fishes, lobe-finned fishes, and eventually tetrapoda. The ancestors of the siren likely followed a similar trajectory, moving from the sea to coastlines throughout the Mediterranean. Besides its head, a point to which we'll return shortly, what distinguishes Serenus horridus from other fish are its distinctly human-like forelimbs. Instead of lobed fins, these appendages closely resemble those belonging to land-dwelling tetrapods. Sarcopterygians, the group to which Serenus horridus belongs, are the perfect lineage to produce such an unexpected body plan. For numerous reasons, fossils from genera such as Pandoricthus and Tiktaalik provide insight into the evolutionary process. In the grand tapestry of evolution, the ancestors of Serenus horridus embarked on an extraordinary journey, transitioning from the deep Mediterranean waters to the welcoming shores. Akin to historical examples like Ambulocetus, environmental pressures catalyzed this shift. Over time, these aquatic pioneers adapted, developing human-like forelimbs, a unique feature that sets Sirenus apart in the piscine world. Such surprising transformations echo the evolutionary dance witnessed throughout Earth's history. From fish to tetrapods, the story of Serenus horridus underscores the marvels of adaptation and resilience, painting a vivid portrait of nature's ceaseless innovation.
A surprise sight on the oceanfront in Virginia Beach this morning. A juvenile humpback whale washed up on the beach.
On March 2nd, 2024, folks in Virginia Beach saw something scary. They found a big dead whale on the shore. It was a young humpback whale, and it's not something people usually see there. Rescue workers from the Virginia Aquarium and Marine Science Center had to use big machines to move the whale away from the water. Whales are giants of the ocean, with some of the biggest species weighing as much as 200 tons. That's like having more than 50 elephants packed into one huge body. When it comes to their jaws, they're no joke either. Picture this. A whale's mouth can be big enough to swallow a small car whole, and their teeth, if they have them, can be as long as your arm. But what's even scarier is their hunting skills. Some whales, like killer whales, have tactics that could send shivers down your spine. They work together in groups to take down prey much larger than themselves. It's like a coordinated attack from a team of underwater predators. Just imagine being in the water with these colossal creatures lurking beneath the surface. It's enough to give anyone goosebumps. But how did this huge creature end up on the beach? Let's figure out why. Virginia Beach incident. On a serene Sunday morning at Virginia Beach's oceanfront, the tranquil scene was shattered by a distressing discovery: a humpback whale stranded on the shore. The news quickly spread, drawing a crowd of around 200 concerned onlookers gathered at 25th Street, witnessing a somber scene unfold. The Virginia Aquarium and Marine Science Center's stranding response program sprang into action, their team laboring tirelessly to ensure the whale's recovery. With an area spanning 2 blocks cordoned off, the operation commenced, utilizing heavy machinery, including forklifts and tractors. Ropes were delicately affixed to the whale, each tug a testament to the collective effort to safeguard the majestic creature. This wasn't the first time such an incident had occurred along the Virginia coastline. In fact, it marked the 27th reported instance since 2016. Just a week prior, another beach had borne witness to a similar tragedy with a North Atlantic right whale, meeting a similar fate near Scaries on the Bay Park. Concerns deepened as experts highlighted a distressing trend. Whales, including humpbacks and right whales, have been experiencing significant die-offs along the East Coast since 2017. The reasons are manifold, with vessel strikes and entanglement in fishing gear being among the leading causes cited by experts. To unravel the mystery behind this latest casualty, the stranding response team will conduct a necropsy, akin to an autopsy for animals, on Monday. Through meticulous examination, samples will be taken, and organs scrutinized to discern clues about the whale's life and ultimately its untimely demise. As the waves at Virginia Beach sparkle in the sunlight, we're reminded of the tough times these big whales go through. They face dangers from boats and other things people make. It makes us think about how we need to take care of our world and the creatures in it. This animal is about 32 feet in length, and the estimated weight is about 32,000 pounds, so about 16 tons, said Mark Swingle of the Virginia Aquarium and Science Center. That information was confirmed during the necropsy, which was completed by Monday evening. As the team finished up examining the first whale found at Virginia Beach oceanfront, news came in of another whale washing up at False Cape Fear State Park, also in Virginia Beach. Biologists will check out this new whale too, but they didn't say what kind it is. Just last year around this time, Wavy reported on several whale deaths in Virginia Beach. One sad case was a 20-year-old North Atlantic right whale that washed ashore on February 12, 2023. A closer look revealed it had died from being hit hard, probably by a boat. And just a week earlier, the aquarium team had to help with another dead humpback whale found in Virginia Beach, close to First Landing State Park. The big question on everyone's mind is, why are these huge creatures ending up on the beach? It's a puzzling mystery. These giants of the sea aren't supposed to be washing up like this. Something must be going wrong, but figuring out exactly what's causing it is tricky. Commercial whaling. Marine scientists were very sad when they found 13 dead sperm whales washed up on a beach in Germany. What they found in the whales' stomachs was really upsetting. This shocking discovery worried scientists a lot, and it's part of a strange pattern of sperm whales ending up on beaches along the North Sea since the start of the year. Sperm whales, also known as cachalots, are big-toothed whales. They have the biggest brains of any animal on Earth and can dive really deep, sometimes going down as far as 3,280 feet. For a long time, people hunted sperm whales for a special wax in their heads called spermaceti. They use this wax to make things like oil for machines and candles. After commercial whaling ended, the number of sperm whales increased a lot, reaching hundreds of thousands. But there's still a substance found in their stomachs that's used in perfumes. Because of this, the species is considered at risk by the International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, IUCN. Sperm whales usually move from warm areas to colder ones after mating. They go to places with more nutrients where they can find food. Interestingly, the waste from sperm whales helps tiny plants called phytoplankton grow. These little plants are super important for ocean life and even for making oxygen for us to breathe. The 13 dead whales found on the North Sea shore were all young males, between 10 and 15 years old. At first, scientists couldn't see anything wrong with them. But when they checked inside, they found something really disturbing. Before the examination, Professor Ursula Seibert and her team from the Institute for Terrestrial and Aquatic Wildlife Research at the University of Hanover looked at the whales. They were all young and healthy-looking, weighing between 12 to 18 tons. Their hearing, which helps them find their way in the water, seemed fine too. And there weren't any unusual parasites in their organs. So why did these whales end up on the beach? It's a mystery that scientists are still trying to solve. The real problem. Scientists think that really hot temperatures and strong storms caused by heat waves in the Northeast Atlantic might have pushed water from the Norwegian Sea down to the North Sea. This change could have made the North Sea a place where sperm whales could find more food. But sometimes whales can make mistakes. They might follow their food into new areas where they don't usually go. This doesn't happen a lot, but it's not unheard of. Animals sometimes explore new places and try to live there. For a long time, whales have been found dead on the North Sea coast, but this time, something was different. When experts checked inside the whales, they found something awful. Their stomachs and intestines were full of plastic waste. According to the Waddenzee National Park in Schleswig-Holstein, over 30 sperm whales have been found dead along the shores of the UK, the Netherlands, France, Denmark, and Germany this year. But the 13 whales found in Germany had the most horrifying deaths. The full examination showed that their insides were filled with plastic. The Whale and Dolphin Conservation, WDC organization, says that noise from ships and drilling, as well as changes in the Earth's magnetic field, could cause whales to lose their way. But they also believe that pollution in the ocean might be messing with the whales' brains, making them confused and leading to their deaths. The shocking discoveries included a fishing net measuring 43 feet long, 13 meters, plastic buckets, and incredibly, even an entire car engine along with other car parts. These findings paint a grim picture of our society's heavy reliance on plastic. Animals unintentionally ingest plastic and plastic waste, causing them immense suffering, and in the worst cases, leading to starvation with their stomachs full. Robert Habeck, the environment minister for the state of Schleswig-Holstein, emphasized the tragic consequences of our plastic-dependent culture. He noted that whales and dolphins can mistakenly consume garbage, either by accident or because they confuse it for food. This plastic waste can wreak havoc on their digestive systems, leading to malnutrition and reducing their ability to feed. Hal Whitehead, a whale researcher at Dalhousie University in Nova Scotia, Canada, condemned the presence of plastic debris in the whales' stomachs as a damning reflection of human actions. In the case of the 13 sperm whales, they were evidently starving before washing ashore. Despite their immense size, these whales needed a considerable amount of food to survive, around 900 pounds, 400 kilograms, each. However, scientists found no evidence that the stranded whales had consumed anything other than plastic debris in the days leading up to their deaths. Nicola Hodgkins of Whale and Dolphin Conservation emphasized that while large pieces of plastic can cause obvious blockages in the animal's guts, smaller bits pose a more chronic threat to all species of cetaceans, not just those who suction feed. According to the United Nations, humans produce over 220 million tons of plastic every year, much of which ends up in the oceans. It's estimated that every square mile of ocean contains an alarming 46,000 pieces of plastic debris. Tragically, hundreds of thousands of animals suffer the consequences, with more than 100,000 dying each year from ingesting plastic waste. Seabirds are also heavily affected, with a study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences of the United States of America revealing that 90% of seabirds have ingested plastic waste. The same study predicts that by 2050, all seabirds will be consuming plastic. Did you know that about 70% of the Earth's surface is covered by the ocean? But guess what? Only less than 5% of it has been explored so far. And you won't believe what we found. From treasures to hidden cities, the ocean floor hides some incredible stuff. Number 10. A lost city. Once upon a time, there was a big city in Egypt that was bustling with life. But then, something bad happened. It got flooded and sank underwater. People forgot all about it until archaeologists found it again in 2000 off the coast of Alexandria. They've been digging up its secrets ever since. This city, called Heraklion, was like something out of a storybook. It was said that even Paris and Helen of Troy visited it. Ancient historians like Theodorus and Herodotus mentioned it, but for centuries, folks thought it was just a legend. Imagine this city was like a mini Venice, with canals all over and little homes on its islands. Now, after being lost for about 1,200 years, its history is mostly a mystery. Nobody knows for sure how it ended up completely underwater. Number 9. The giant eyeball South Florida beaches are usually known for seashells, tiny critters, and maybe the occasional shark tooth. But in October 2012, something really strange turned up on Pompano Beach. A massive eyeball, all by itself. People online were buzzing with theories about what creature had lost such a big eye. Maybe some kind of sea monster. But it turns out it was just a swordfish eye. Swordfish are pretty common off South Florida, and it's likely a fisherman tossed it overboard and it ended up on the beach. Even though it's not from a monster, finding a giant eyeball on the shore is still pretty bizarre. It even got National Geographic's attention as the weirdest story of 2012, rightfully earning its title for being so odd, gross, and mysterious all at once.
There were sections which clearly resembled a series of steps, leading from one level to another, and what seemed to be a domed compartment jutting up and out from the main body of the structure.
Number 8. Giant oarfish. The giant oarfish is definitely the most peculiar creature lurking in the deep sea. Picture this. It can grow longer than a school bus, has shiny silver skin, and boasts long, red-like fins along its belly, and a dorsal fin that sticks up like a crest on its head. People who've glimpsed them at the water's surface often mistake them for sea serpents. Their unique looks have made them so mysterious that they're part of Japan's folklore, known as Ryugu no Tukai, or the messenger from the sea god's palace. Oarfish have long been seen as omens of natural disasters. If one washes ashore in Japan, it's seen as a bad sign, signaling earthquakes and tsunamis. This belief gained traction when over a dozen oarfish appeared on Japan's beaches the year before the 2011 Fukushima nuclear disaster. However, scientists disagree with these claims. Number 7. The underwater river. Guess what? There's an underwater river, believe it or not. Scuba divers stumbled upon a hidden river called Cenote Angelita in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. Here's how it works. A thick layer of hydrogen sulfide traps fresh water and salt water in a cave because of a sinkhole caused by a collapse in the limestone. It's so toxic that if you try to breathe it in, it could be fatal. From the surface, Cenote Angelita looks normal, but dive about 30 meters down, and things get strange. You'll start seeing what seems like a wavy riverbed below, with eerie tree trunks and branches poking out. As you go deeper, you might feel a bit disoriented due to nitrogen messing with your brain. It's like diving into a surreal, spooky, foggy world. Meyer Diving, which offers trips to Angelita, describes it as hauntingly beautiful. Ready to pack your gear and dive in? Number 6. The aliens in Baltic Sea. Get ready for the wild side. The Baltic Sea anomaly has become a hotspot for alien and UFO believers. Its disc-like shape and odd features have sparked comparisons to the famous Roswell incident, or even an underwater Atlantis. Even though there's not much scientific proof, these ideas have made the Baltic Sea structure famous in pop culture, inspiring documentaries and endless online debates. The Ocean X team captured sonar images showing a structure with straight lines and sharp angles, which is unusual for something natural. Divers who've dared to explore the depths of the Baltic Sea near the anomaly report strange equipment malfunctions, adding speculation about its mysterious origins. Number 5. Underwater sculpture. Forget about fancy clothes. If you want to truly appreciate these sculptures, grab your swimsuit and snorkel gear. Created by artist Jason DeCaires Taylor in 2006, the Grenada Underwater Sculpture Park is a remarkable sight. It's even made it onto National Geographic's list of the world's wonders. With over 75 life-size sculptures installed underwater, there's plenty to see. From whimsical figures like a cyclist and a man typing at a desk to more profound installations like the graceful female figures of Grace Reef, these sculptures offer a unique experience. Some of them are even hidden by sand and revealed by the tides, adding to the magic. The project's purpose was to create an artificial reef where coral and marine life could thrive, especially after Hurricane Ivan devastated the area in 2004. Number 4. The Ancient Pills. If you haven't cleaned out your medicine cabinet lately, you might come across some pretty old medications. But they're nothing compared to what archaeologists found at the bottom of the sea off the coast of Italy. While investigating an ancient shipwreck near Tuscany, they made an incredible discovery: a sealed tin container filled with well-preserved pills dating back to around 140 to 130 BC. These ancient pills, about 4 centimeters in diameter and 1 centimeter thick, were made of a zinc-based mixture along with ingredients like iron oxide, starch, beeswax, pine resin, fats from animals and plants, flax fiber, coal, grains, and pollen. After analyzing them, researchers think they might have been used as an eye wash. It's believed that the ship may have had a doctor on board, or at least someone trained in basic first aid, because of the presence of this medicine chest. Number 3. The Underwater Statue. Just when you thought horror movies couldn't get any scarier, here's an underwater find that'll send shivers down your spine. In northern Minnesota, someone went ahead and placed a life-size statue of Jason Voorhees, the infamous killer from Hollywood, at the bottom of Crystal Lake. Complete with his trademark hockey mask and machete, the statue has been lurking down there, waiting to give unsuspecting divers a major scare. The mastermind behind this chilling creation is Curtis Lahr, who says he planted the statue a whopping 120 feet deep in the lake. Adding to the eerie factor, Lahr mentions that the lake is an old iron ore pit. He even filmed the submerged nightmare back in 2013 and uploaded it to YouTube, where it's been giving internet users goosebumps ever since. For those who are already wary of swimming, stumbling upon this statue would be the stuff of nightmares. Number 2. Vampire squid. Yes, the vampire squid is real. But don't worry, it's not actually a vampire or a regular squid. Its scientific name is Vampiroteuthis infernalis, or the vampire squid from hell. This deep-sea creature earned its flashy name not because it drinks blood, but because of its blood-red color, cloak-like webbing, and spiky spines that look like teeth. The vampire squid lives in the dark depths of the mesopelagic zone, where there's hardly any light. When it feels threatened, this mysterious creature flips its cape-like webbing and releases a thick cloud of glowing mucus to confuse predators. Pretty gross, right? Number 1. Giant knife. Among the strange underwater discoveries, there's one that stands out. A massive underwater knife supposedly found by a team of professional scuba divers in 2014. The image shows 3 divers holding the large knife in an undisclosed location in the Earth's oceans. Since its release by an anonymous source, the image has circulated widely on social media and scuba diving forums. The divers who found the knife haven't come forward to claim credit for the discovery, adding to the mystery. Some speculate that the knife is evidence of giants who ruled the Earth tens of thousands of years ago, while others suggest it might be a prop that ended up in the ocean. However, the truth remains uncertain.
There's huge areas of the world that have never been looked at by archaeology at all. Or if looked at by archaeology, looked at only minimally.
Beneath the waves, silent cities wait, forgotten by time. These underwater ghost towns hold secrets of a past life, now hidden deep in the ocean's embrace. Once bustling with laughter and life, they now rest in quiet solitude, their stories etched into the walls that water surrounds. Haunted underwater city in the U.S. Underneath the calm surface of Lake Lanier, there are stories of towns forgotten. It's like a paradise, but with strange mysteries. Sometimes beauty mixes with a past that feels uneasy. There are whispers of ghosts in the air, telling tales of things that happened long ago. Looking back in time, Lake Lanier didn't start as a lake. Back in the early 1950s, the government decided it needed a big water reservoir to control floods and make electricity, So, they made Lake Lanier. But making something new often means losing something old. In this case, it was the towns of Oscarville and Looper Speedway, along with lots of farmland. More than 700 families had to leave their homes. It was sad to see places where people lived and worked disappear underwater. Imagine this: schools, churches, racetracks, stores, cemeteries, and big forests with tall trees, all under the water. These were once part of busy communities. Even though we can't see them anymore, they're still there, like ghosts of the past. You can see the shapes of old houses, cars left behind, and other things people forgot about. They're like a graveyard underwater, giving Lake Lanier a spooky atmosphere. Lake Lanier has seen a lot of scary things happen. Instead of being calm, it's often filled with accidents, drownings, and deaths that don't make sense. Every year, more lives are lost there than in other lakes like it. People swimming suddenly disappear under the water, boats get lost in the fog, and cars end up sinking with no one inside. Some people are found, but others never are. It's like the lake swallows them up, and they're never seen again. Some survivors have called for help, telling terrifying stories. One person felt like something invisible was pulling them down under the water. Others talk about strong currents that come out of nowhere. People who drive on the lake say they feel scared, like something is watching them from the water. All these creepy events make Lake Lanier a spooky place. They mix with its dark history, making it even scarier. Some people wonder if the ghosts of the old towns that got flooded are causing all these bad things to happen. Lake Lanier has become a place where scary stories about ghosts and strange things happening are everywhere. One of the scariest stories is about the Lady of the Lake. It happened in the late 1950s, when the lake was new. Delia Young and Susie Roberts were going to town one night, but never made it back home. They disappeared, and even though their car was missing too, nobody could find them. Investigators found marks on the road that went over the lake, but that was all they found. As weeks turned into months, and then years, people lost hope of finding their two friends alive. Eventually, they thought Delia Young and Susie Roberts must be dead, but the story takes a dark turn years later. A fisherman found something awful: a woman's body, decomposed, without hands, and missing 2 toes. She wore a blue dress. Nobody knew who she was, so they buried her in a grave without a name nearby. Jump to the 1990s. A construction crew dredging the lake found an old car from 1954. Inside was a body. Investigators found things that proved it was Susie Roberts, one of the missing friends. This discovery made people look again into what happened to the 2 women. They figured out the other body, the one without hands, was Delia Young. It was a spooky end to their story, adding another sad chapter to the lake's history. People say a ghost now wanders the lake. They say she wears a blue dress and has no hands. People have seen her at night, near the bridge where the 2 friends disappeared. Some say the lake didn't just drown buildings and farmlands, but disturbed the resting place of those buried there. Maybe that's why there are ghosts. In 2015, a local man named Robert had a scary experience. He was swimming in the lake when he felt something grab his ankle, pulling him down. He fought to get free, feeling like he was losing strength. Finally, he got away, but he never swam in the lake again, haunted by what happened. Lake Lanier is beautiful, but its eerie stories make it spooky. Even though many people visit every year for fun, they also hear the whispers of the past. Some even say they've seen ghosts in pictures and videos. Locals know the lake's history and legends, but still live near it, adding to the mystery. Is there something supernatural in Lake Lanier? That question adds to its unique charm. Quiet Tale of Villa Epecuén. Long ago, in Argentina, there was a town called Villa Epecuén. This town was special because it had a lake with very salty water that could make people feel better. Many people visited Villa Epecuén to swim in its lake and enjoy the town. At its height, Villa Epecuén could accommodate at least 5,000 visitors. But one day in 1985, after a big storm, the water from the lake rose up and covered the whole town. Everything was underwater for a long time, and nobody could see the town. After many years, the water went down, and the town could be seen again. But it was empty and quiet. The houses and streets were there, but no one lived in them anymore. The town looked like a ghost town because it was so quiet and nobody was around. Some people say that when you walk in the town now, it feels like the people who used to live there are still around, even though you can't see them. It's a bit spooky, but also interesting to see and think about the town's story. On 6 November 1985, something rare happened with the weather. It made a big wave called a seishi that broke a dam near the village. Then, the wave also broke the wall that protected the village from water. The water kept rising slowly until it reached a very high point of 10 meters, 33 feet. The village became impossible to live in, and no one ever built it again. Now, many of the old buildings are covered with a layer of white and gray salt. Back in the day, Epiquen was a busy place. It had around 280 different kinds of businesses, like hotels and shops. About 25,000 tourists would visit between November and March every year from the 1950s to the 1970s. At its busiest time, the town had 1,500 people living there. But in 2011, there was only one person left. His name was Pablo Novak, born in 1930. He came back to his home in 2009 when the water went away after 25 years. Now, Epiquen is like an underground ghost town, hidden beneath the water. The old buildings stand silently, covered in salt, telling the story of a town lost to the waves. The documentary Pablo's Villa, made in 2013, tells the haunting tale of the town and its last resident, Pablo Novak. The wet weather later reversed, and the waters began to recede in 2009. AFP photographer Juan Mabromata recently visited the ruins of Villa Epiquen, met its sole inhabitant, and returned with these images. Tennessee's underwater ghost towns. During World War II, when the United States needed to ramp up production of materials and products for the war effort, it faced a significant challenge. The existing methods of manufacturing weren't sufficient to meet the demands of wartime production. Large industrial companies, such as the Aluminum Company of America, relied on their own power sources, like hydroelectricity and steam plants, to support their manufacturing processes. However, these methods were not sustainable for the rapid production of materials needed for the war. To address this issue, the Tennessee Valley Authority, TVA, embarked on a massive project to harness the power of the region's rivers. This initiative involved the construction of several major dams, including Douglas, Fontana, and Cherokee, which impounded several key rivers that ultimately formed the Tennessee River. These dams created vast reservoirs of water, resulting in significant flooding of surrounding areas. As a consequence of this flooding, numerous homesteads, towns, and historical sites were lost. The government employed various tactics, including eminent domain, to acquire the land needed for these projects. Some property owners were compensated and willingly left their homes, while others were forced to relocate when the rising waters reached their doorsteps. For instance, Claudia Myers was among those affected. She resided in the community of Bridgeport in Hawkins County and owned 52 acres of land, which included a house and a barn. Eventually, she received a payment equivalent to $330,000 in today's money for her property. Although her land was submerged, the foundation of her barn remains visible to this day when the water levels recede during the winter. Another significant town impacted by these developments was Bean Station, originally settled in 1775. It boasted various amenities, such as a large tavern, train station, and post office. However, the construction of Cherokee Dam led to the submersion of Bean Station and the loss of its rich historical heritage. Nowadays, as the sun sets over the tranquil waters of the lakes where Bean Station, Old Butler, and Liston once stood, whispers of the past linger in the air. Locals gather around campfires, swapping tales of the towns that lie beneath the surface, their forms barely visible in the mist that hangs low over the water. They say these specters wander along the shoreline, their faces obscured by the fog, as if searching for something lost in the depths below. Others tell of nights filled with strange sounds echoing from beneath the waves, like whispers carried on the wind. They say it's as if the towns themselves are trying to communicate from their watery graves, sharing stories of days gone by with anyone who will listen. These stories, passed down through generations, add a sense of mystery and wonder to the once thriving towns, keeping their memories alive in the hearts and minds of those who dare to explore their submerged depths. Did you know that the ocean is so vast that it contains over 99% of the Earth's living space? The ocean is really, really deep. To put it into perspective, if we were to remove all the land masses from the Earth's continents and islands and use them to fill the deepest parts of the ocean, the entire planet would be submerged under an ocean that stretches 2 miles deep. Despite its immense size, we have only explored about 5% of the ocean floor, leaving much of its mysteries still waiting to be uncovered. The sunlight zone of ocean. Most of our planet is covered in water, about 3/4 of it. And that water goes way deeper than just 2 miles. Let's think about size for a moment. This tiny dot represents an average person. This slightly bigger dot is the size of an elephant. And this dot here is the size of the biggest ship ever made, the Knock Nevis. Now let's dive underwater and see what's down there. The first stop is at 40 meters below the surface, which is the deepest you can go for fun, scuba diving. A bit deeper, at 93 meters, is where they found the wreck of the Lusitania. What's interesting is that the Lusitania itself is 240 meters long, so it sank in water shallower than its own length. Imagine if it was standing upright, it would poke out of the water, just a bit deeper. At 100 meters, diving can get seriously dangerous because of something called decompression sickness. But that didn't stop a guy named Herbert Nitsch from setting the world record for free diving at 214 meters deep. Yep, he swam down there with just one breath. But a little further down at 332 meters, we have the scuba diving world record, which was accomplished by another man named Ahmed Gabr. If he had swam down another 111 meters then, he would have reached the height of the Empire State Building if it was submerged underwater. And a little further than that, at 500 meters below the surface, we arrive at the maximum dive depth of blue whales, the largest creatures on the planet, and also the limit of the U.S. Seawolf-class nuclear submarine. At 535 meters below the surface, we encounter another remarkable depth, the maximum dive depth of emperor penguins. Now let's talk about water pressure. It's a real game changer down here. At this level, the pressure exerted by the water on a person or those penguins would feel like having a polar bear standing on a quarter. But let's venture even deeper into the abyss. At 830 meters below the surface, we've descended to the height of the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, the tallest building on land, the Scaries zone. Once we reach 1,000 meters below the surface, things take a dramatic turn. We're now entering what can only be described as the scary zone. Light from the surface can no longer penetrate beyond this point, plunging everything into perpetual darkness. And as if that weren't enough, the water pressure at this depth is akin to standing on the surface of the planet Venus, a lethal environment for humans. It's a place where survival is nearly impossible. And if the extreme pressure didn't already pose a threat, this is where you'd come face to face with the elusive giant squid, a creature of myth and legend lurking in the depths of the ocean. Descending to 1,280 meters, we encounter the deepest dive ever recorded for a leatherback sea turtle. The journey into the abyss doesn't stop there. At 1,828 meters, we'd find ourselves at the deepest point of the Grand Canyon if it were submerged beneath the ocean alongside us. We enter a realm where things start to get seriously spooky. Here, lurking in the darkness, is the menacing black dragonfish, a carnivorous predator with a stomach that absorbs light, rendering it invisible in the pitch-black depths. If you ever come across one of these creatures, you'll need a trusty flashlight to catch even a glimpse of its eerie form. Venturing a bit further down to 2,250 meters, we encounter depths reached by both sperm whales and the formidable colossal squid. These titans of the deep engage in epic battles, leaving scars and sucker marks on the bodies of the whales. The colossal squid, with its massive size, reaching up to 14 meters in length and weighing as much as 750 kilograms, boasts eyes the size of dinner plates and razor-sharp sickles in the middle of its tentacles. It's a fearsome predator that commands respect in the dark, mysterious depths of the ocean. Way down deep at 3,800 meters, we find the RMS Titanic wreck. Abyssal Zone. Around 4,000 meters, we're entering what's called the Abyssal Zone. The water pressure down here is crazy high, about 11,000 pounds per square inch. In these deep parts, there are some really weird creatures, almost like they're from another planet. We're talking about creatures like the fangtooth, anglerfish, and viperfish. At 4,267 meters, we're at the average depth of the ocean floor. But some places in the ocean go even deeper. For example, at 4,791 meters, you'll find the sunken battleship Bismarck from World War II. Way down at 6,000 meters is where the Hadal Zone starts, named after the underworld Hades. The pressure down here is nuts, about 1,100 times more than what you feel at the surface. That's like trying to balance an elephant on a tiny postage stamp, or carrying the weight of 50 Boeing 747 jumbo jets all by yourself. Down at these depths, the pressure is so intense that you'd be squished instantly without any special protection. But somehow, life manages to survive down here in all sorts of weird forms. At 6,500 meters, we hit the deepest dive limit for the DSV Alvin, a famous research submarine that's been vital in discovering underwater secrets, including the wreck of the Titanic. Way deeper at 8,848 meters below the surface, we're at the same height as the tippy top of Mount Everest, except flipped upside down and underwater. But even further than that, at 10,898 meters, is where James Cameron took the Deep Sea Challenger mission in 2012. However, the deepest humans have ever gone was way back in 1960. That's when Don Walsh and Jacques Picard descended to a depth of 10,916 meters in their Trieste submarine. It took them a whopping 5 hours to make the journey through the ocean's depths, and they only stayed down there for about 20 minutes before a window cracked and they had to start heading back up. Just a little bit deeper, at 10,972 meters, we've reached the typical cruising altitude of a commercial airplane. So, if you've ever peered out of a window during a flight and looked down at the ground below, that gives you a pretty good idea of just how incredibly deep into the abyss we are right now. The Challenger Deep.
To the deepest point on the planet.
The voyage deep into the sea.
Film director James Cameron has made history.
It's 36,000 feet down. That is 7 miles to the bottom. Mount Everest could fit in a trench with 7,000 feet to spare.
Finally, when we hit 10,994 meters, we've hit the bottom of the deepest known part of the ocean, called the Challenger Deep. It's located on this map about 300 kilometers southwest of Guam Island. But many experts think there are probably even deeper parts of the ocean that we just haven't found yet. After all, it wasn't until 1997 that we discovered the Serena Deep, which plunges down to 10,732 meters, making it the second deepest spot we know of. And get this, we've only accurately mapped about 5% of the ocean floor. That means a whopping 95% is still a complete mystery. Throughout human history, myths have always fascinated us, capturing our imaginations and sparking curiosity about the world around us. One of these stories that lots of people find interesting is about mermaids. These creatures, Some, like Justice Manyanka, believe they should be left alone, claiming they play a vital role in These drawings might be the first pictures of mermaids ever made. It's like a window into a time when humans and mermaids lived in the same world. There's a sad part to this story. The drawings hint at a time when humans and mermaids didn't get along. Maybe humans wanted something from the mermaids, or maybe they were scared of them. Whatever the reason, it seems like humans forced the mermaids to go deeper into the sea, away from where people lived. Nowadays, nobody knows for sure what happened to the mermaids. Some people think they still live deep in the ocean.